This episode is brought to you by Wanda C. Williams. Aloha, Wanda here. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Soul Speak. Enjoy. Too many mamas feel alone, isolated, or are suffering in silence. They exert so much energy in being everything and everyone for their family. Frequently neglecting their own needs, dreams, and desires, they put taking care of themselves last on the to-do list. They can often be their own worst critic and have the scars of perfectionism, doubt, and shame to prove it. Without the support and someone helping them navigate the highs and lows of motherhood while building a business, judgment starts to creep in. Self-expectations distort, and you stop filling yourself up and instead give and do more. Motherhood and building a thriving business is a dream and goal for many. Whether you birth children of your own, adopt, or are naturally nurturing those within your community, mama entrepreneurs who are supported and held accountable experience more joy and enjoy the fruits of motherhood while building the business of their dreams. They have control of their experiences, and they are so full, they are overflowing with enough to give. Since starting Wanda C. Williams, I have made it my mission to help mama entrepreneurs have a fully aligned business and life overflowing with radiant, abundant joy. And that is why I've created the Joyful Sage Club. The Joyful Sage Club is dedicated to help you conquer the emotional roller coaster of parenting teen to adult children while building a business. Help avoid the common mistakes, stop being what others expect you to be, and help you connect with your inner being and higher self. Taking the words of the late beautiful soul Maya Angelou, I want to be proud when I see you coming. I wish for you to be so full you are overflowing.
Hi. So thank you so much for joining me today, Stephanie, for Soul Speak Conversations Connecting Us to Who We Are. And I want to start with just to tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, how many kids you have, where you're from. And then I have a sort of juicy question about which Snow White of the Seven Dwarfs are you, which best describes you.
I am Stephanie Lee, and I am a mother of two, one biological and one stepson. My daughter is my biological. I am here in North Carolina towards the mountains, not quite in the mountains, in between the mountains and the beach, so I get the best of both worlds. And let's see, with the seven dwarfs, give me all of them because I
Sure.
can't remember.
There is Bashful, there's Doc, Dopey, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, and Sneezy.
I probably would be happy.
All right,
I
Happy.
bet we have so many memories of childhood, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I recall my son singing Whistle While You Work with my dad marching behind him.
I love it.
So, also, will you share with us a little bit about? I know you're a business owner, but just share a little bit about that with us.
So in my business, I help busy entrepreneurs grow their revenue and put in systems and processes so that they can flow easy in their business and they can also operate in their zone of genius. Because as most of you know, we get so busy trying to do it all by ourselves. And so I am there to help support business owners when they need those extra set of hands, especially with social media marketing.
All right.
That's my favorite.
Perfect. I'm actually really glad I asked that because in conjunction with that, you support other business owners. What sparked this desire to become an entrepreneur as a mom?
Well, to be honest, I am a serial entrepreneur. I have owned several different businesses, from a fitness online boutique, working as a Amazon FBA seller. I've created two blogs, one for personal finance and one just blogging about my life. And finally this year, I decided that I wanted to help service-based businesses just really put those systems and processes in place because I know what it feels like to want to do it all, want to wear many hats. And so actually, for me, it was really good because when my daughter went off to college, I had something to fall back on, something to keep me busy because really my life kind of revolved around my daughter. As most parents can pretty much say that their life revolves around their kids.
What would you say is your greatest mama superpower?
That I'm able to transform. I'm a transformer. So what I mean by that, 1 minute I'm mama, next minute I was her chauffeur, next minute I'm the chef, next minute I'm the maid, next minute I'm the cuddler. So that's what I mean by transformer.
I love it. I love it. Transformer can transform and become anything that your daughter, Asia, needed or needs. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. So tell me, what was life like before you had kids? Was Stephanie still a transformer or waiting to become a transformer?
So before her, it was all about me. And, it was good because I didn't have anyone else to worry about. It was just me doing what I wanted to do. But of course, as most women, um, I longed to be a mother. I wanted to be a mother. I always wanted kids. I only wanted one, but I did get two. So I am excited to be a mother of two. And I just love it. But yeah, before her, it was just the Stephanie show.
Okay. So then after you had Asia, what was life like? Was it easy to transition from the Stephanie show to, oh my gosh, I have another being to consider?
Well, one thing that I say that is so funny now, but it wasn't funny back then, is mom said, just wait until you have kids. You will understand. I'm sure a lot of moms can totally relate to that statement.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I think my mom's statement was, it'll come back to you when you have kids.
Yes, yes, absolutely. My life shifted totally. It was no longer about me. It was totally about her. I centered my life around my daughter. Everything that she needed, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a part of. Not just being a mom, but being a friend where she could come and talk with me. So, um, my desires for myself became inclusive of her desires. So it totally shifted.
Okay. So I love how you put that. You said your desires became inclusive of hers. So now that is starting to leave the nest and has gone off to college, how has that affected your life?
It was totally different. I remember the day I dropped her off. I really thought I was going to be crying because not only did she need me, but I needed her. And so I just knew that the transition was just going to be really hard. But on the drive home, to be honest, I felt a little free, just a little bit. 'Cause it was like, finally, the umbilical cord is cut, and now she'll get to see what it feels like to be independent with the thought of knowing that mom, if she calls mom, mom's dropping everything, and I still do drop everything when that phone rings or I get that text message from her. But life did totally shift, and I felt myself kind of going back to those days before I had her work, where it was, now I have time for me.
And so how has that affected you building a business?
Oh, it's nice. It's nice because now, I get to focus on my business versus always having to attend everything from school events to after school events, whatever she was involved in, my life was involved in that. And so now it's not so much. And I get to work on my business now and be more present in my business, whereas before it was kind of a hit and miss. I really didn't have that focus. I was trying to juggle not only a full-time job, trying to grow different businesses, and being a full-time mom and a wife.
Okay. And so would you say that you struggled at all with empty nest syndrome, or have you heard of empty nest syndrome?
Yes, of course. I think every mother, when they leave, you're going to go through that empty nest syndrome. Because even now, I still want to know where she's at, why she hasn't called, because I was so used to knowing everywhere she was. She would call me, she would text me, Mom, I've made it. And when she went off to college, that went away. Maybe she called me in the morning or maybe she called me in the evening. Whereas when she was home, it was 3 times a day. I'm calling Mom when I get to school, when I go on my lunch, and on my ride home. So it was totally different. The dependency that she had on me. But I do think it was good for her and it was good for me. However, of course, like most people, COVID has totally shifted things for a lot of us, and our kids are back home. And so when she came back, it was different because I was used to her being gone and doing those iPhone FaceTime moments with her. But yeah, it was totally different, and of course I missed her because we do everything together. Um, so she was my shopping buddy. She was mine. Sit on the couch and watch TV. TV shows together. So she was my world, and so it was a big transition for me, especially at first.
Okay. And so what would you say were like the hardest pieces about empty nest syndrome for you? Was it emotions? Was it just the physical distance? What were those things that came up for you?
I would say the physical distance. Not, honestly, missing her just walking through that door every day. What else? I would say even the emotions, not, because on the phone or through text message, you really can't get the sense of how they are really doing, how they are really feeling, and wanting to know that they really are okay when they say they're okay. So I think for me, it was just her not being present and not really knowing, okay, is college treating her good? Is she adapting to the new atmosphere? Is she finding friends? All those things that a mother kind of, cycles through her mind about her kids wanting to make sure they're okay. So I think it would probably be physical and emotional, just wanting them to really be okay.
Right. And so what is one thing that you have done for yourself in order to deal with the distance, manage and handle your emotions?
Well, I tell her to call me. You better call me. You better let me know you're okay. And if I haven't heard from you, in 6 hours from the time I think you're getting up, then I'm calling you. So for me, it's just being in constant communication with her, um, because I do stress out completely when I don't hear from her or she says she's going somewhere and I'm not getting a message saying, Mom, I made it here safely.
Right. So that's beautiful. I love it. So communication, clear communication. And I would also say that you set up boundaries with her and said, look, I get worried and I need to know where and how you are at least once a day.
Absolutely. And don't let her be going out with her friends. I need to know when you're getting back in.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to shift just a little bit. I'm curious, what did you want to be when you grew up as a little kid? What did you envision yourself being?
So I always wanted to be a lawyer.
A
And
lawyer. Okay.
yes, and I don't even know why. Because it's so
Because you wanted to talk.
I do love to talk, but I think I just watched, growing up, I watched Columbo. I don't know if you remember Columbo and all those little shows, and I always wanted the role of a lawyer. So that's what my plans were when I graduated from college, was to go off and be a lawyer, but of course that didn't happen.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, thinking of your life thus far, right? What challenges, if any, did you have balancing not only your personal dreams, your professional dreams, and being a transformer and taking care of Asia and your stepson?
So I think for me, the challenging thing was knowing when to stop, when to pull off that cape. Because I think as women, we tend to want to be superwoman all the time. We put on our cape from early childhood and we never take it off. And I think we want to be everything to everyone. So that was always my problem, is that I wanted to be present for everything, and knowing when it's time for you to step back and really do some self-care and making sure you're okay in the process. And I think for me, it was just recognizing that I felt okay when I was with my hands in everything. And so that was always a challenge, is just trying to be present, not only for Asia and my stepson Cameron, but my husband, my full-time job, my business. I have pets, keeping the house clean, just, those things that as women we just naturally do. We are the consoler. Um, we're the helpmate. So we are kind of all over the place all the time. And that, I think for most of us, that's the challenge, is just doing it all, feeling like you have to do it all.
I think
What
that's
the
a
family
beautiful line, is to ask ourselves from time to time, is it time to put down the cape? I love it. So now I want to dive into something a little juicy that I want to know, who would you say you are and what keeps you connected to your sense of self?
I would say that I am Stephanie.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am Stephanie, but I am Stephanie at my best when I am really making an impact on others. I find that I have so much joy in helping others succeed and really finding their happy place. For example, in my business, for my clients, oh my gosh, when they have a win, like, it is so special to me. Like, I'm so excited, it makes my day. Just seeing others impacting other people's lives for the good. So I am Stephanie. But I'm Stephanie at the best when, I'm making that impact on other people's lives, from clients to even my family. When I'm stepping in and showing up and being my best.
And so, are there any
Whatever.
practices that you do that help you when you realize that you're a little disconnected, that you're not aligned to Stephanie that's making an impact and helping others?
Yes, so I love to meditate. And when I do find myself off balance, because of course we do have those days where we're not feeling aligned that I know it's time for me to connect spiritually with myself, to be able to raise the energy levels and making sure that I'm praying. I love to journal and write out my feelings on paper, or, honestly, I love my phone notepad because sometimes I'm just typing just how I feel, just getting it out. And it don't always have to be said, but just getting it out, releasing it, so that you can remove that pressure and get your energy levels back up. So I think meditating and praying and journaling. Also, I do like to go on walks, to listen to music, to my energy level up. And I'm going to do like you, Wanda, and have dance parties throughout the day to pick up my vibes. So those are the kind of things that I like to do to really try to bring that energy back in.
Beautiful. Excuse me. So, what is the number one life lesson you would want to share with a new mama?
It's okay to let them go. It's okay.
Okay.
It's
Beautiful.
okay.
I felt that one. And so, lastly, I would love to know, what brings you joy?
I would definitely say my children, but more so, I would definitely say my family. My family is definitely my joy. They bring so, seeing them happy really lights me up. And I think for a lot of us, having our families happy, healthy, and in unison is just so important. And so they light me up. And honestly, my daughter, because I know she's looking at me every single day, even when I want to give up, all I need to do is think about her, and I'm like, okay, she's your reason.
All right,
She's
beautiful.
your why.
Thank you so much for sharing with me and all of those that are listening a little bit about you, Stephanie. Stephanie the transformer, Stephanie the impactor, the supporter, the bringer of joy, love, and hope. Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Well, thank you, Wanda, for having me. It's been a pleasure.